On. Now my mic is on. Now you can hear me. What's up, everyone? Bradley Jack Design here with another. What's up, Lacey? With another day of creating a sports card. So I asked my social what kind of mood board we should use. So this is the mood board we're going with today. We're going to make, and we're going to be making over the next couple of weeks, might be several weeks, some good golf inspired golf cards. So these might be more on the templated side, but I'm going to think about what a cool pack of cards would be for good golf. So this is our inspiration. I also have it here in Photoshop, which is not open. Right here in Photoshop, we've got our mood board 1 and our mood board 2 that we can reference. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start off, I think we're going to start off making a more simple template that you would see. Something, you know, like this. I got my golf glove on today. I'm ready to go. Oh, Lacey, gotcha. So something with a background that we could put the 5 guys in. So the good golf members, if you Google it, they've had a bunch of people they've collabed with, but we're going with, we've got Garrett, Matt, Thomas, Bubby, Broders, Steven, and Brad. So it's actually kind of hard, or I found it difficult to find good photos because a lot of the content they post is video. So I went on to Bubby's Instagram page, and I found some photos of him playing golf, but then I found some just nice headshots. They have a lot of good headshots of them just because they sell clothing. So these are actually sort of selling the clothing that they have. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start off with like this photo, and we're going to make a cool template that we can pump 5 of these images in for each guy. So we'll see how long it takes me to take this glove off because it's really annoying to type. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab this photo. Let's go to select and mask. I've got some stuff here I automatically do, but the select and mask, I'm taking this glove off now. I can't hit my hotkeys. Oh, my hand is so much smaller without a glove on. Paste, nope, copy, paste. There we go. So this is an image we're going to use as sort of our base. So if we look at a random sports card template, I'm going to go to eBay and I'm going to look at some sports cards. So there's like a Tiger Woods card in here. It's more shin up on here. I don't think any of these other cards. Sports card. I just want to see how much is in frame of people. But I want to make them cool. Like there's a ton of golf cards that you can find on eBay. Like I was very, non-specific. So let me just look up Tiger Woods card. This is going to be all old Upper Deck stuff. But essentially, if we do just like select 2025. Select is a very popular card that Panini puts out. So like something like this. What's up, Sigaria? So if we did something like this, let me zoom back out. So a frame with person in it. Now I don't want to copy what select is here, but this is what we're going to do for today. Some sort of frame. Golf sports card auto. I spelled auto wrong, but it's fine. But we're going to frame this in. So like this is a fun one that Alan Gintner does. You know, here's John Daly, really ornate, framed inside. So it's just sort of what vibe do we want? Usually, this is what people think about when they think of golf cards, is stuff like this. There's lots of swoops and stuff like that. And I want to use something to do with the Good Good brand. So I'm probably going to pull their logo in. And I kind of want to pull some of the colors that they use as well. Because I want this to be, if they made a golf card product, what would it look like? And it would be cool to have some that reflect what achievements they've had. And this isn't the best logo because I couldn't find one. I can probably look again. But like, for instance, Bubby here hit a hole-in-one like a week ago, or like this week. So like having a card with an image on it, which is kind of generic in what sports cards people do, and I don't really like. It might make sense though as moments. So we might include something like that. And I'm going to try and keep this at about this distance so you all can see what's happening. Let me look if let me see if I can find their logo somewhere. Let me just go drag this over here and just see how we can do this. So this is their logo. This actually isn't bad. Let me open this into a new tab, see if we can get a large version of this. This is on Shopify. I want to change. This should be fine. Let me just download this. And then we'll drag this up into here and see what happens. Okay, that's bigger, so I like that better. So, in general, how this is going to work, I've got my note area up here. So no templates is humorous, so we're going to do templates. Holographic wear, what can change color? This is our notes from our Alona Mar graphic. Logo wear. Place for autograph, right? So we want name. We don't want the red reveal effect. How golf. So how can we make this golf incorporated? How can we make this look like something that is intentional for a golf card? So one thing I did for Scheffler. Let me open this up. So on one stream, I did a Scotty Scheffler card. And this is what that looks like. Is it opening up? And yeah, hold on. I installed Adobe Photoshop Beta to my computer, and now it auto opens with that, which I do not want at all. So we're going to open that to regular Photoshop. And I'll show you what I did with that card so we can pull some of the stuff from that. So what I did with this card was I mimicked a whole number. And I forget what these numbers are. I think it's what he shot. 57. I don't remember what these numbers are. They mean something. I don't remember what. But this is like a mark, and then there's a ball with a circle inside and a place for him to sign. So that was the whole idea with this card. So how can we take that and sort of do something with Good Good? But we want to do something for Good Good. So I'm going to go to their website real quick, which I've gone to a bunch over the past couple days. If I can find where the internet is. So this is their color palette. It's the only reason I'm pulling this up is because that's a photo of me. I want their color palette, so I have it in here somewhere. So main things that pop up when I think of how we can do golf. We can do something scorecard wise. Scorecard. I'm just thinking in my head, and I should have done some prep work on this. But when I think of golf cards, so they stream on YouTube. They make content on YouTube. YouTube, that's where the B is. So how can we incorporate camera or live symbol? You know, something like that so we can have something to show that they are a content creator. What can we do with that? So let me hide some of these and figure out where we can get started. Because the thing is, there's not a lot of good action shots of these guys unless they're on their Instagram page. So let me go in. I'm going to edit this photo real quick. So I'm going to... Man, I'm losing my mind here. Hold on. Oh, this isn't a smart object. I was like, I want to make a new smart object via copy, but I just want to do this. And then image reveal all. Okay. So I'm going to turn this to a smart object. I'm going to use a plugin I have or a filter of Nick Collection to do some HDR effects just to edit this image. And I need to install this for Reels. So this does a decent job of doing some HDR effects. But as you can see, it doesn't look great. So I'm going to apply that, and it looks awful. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to lower the opacity of this effect. Because you can see it's super crunchy up here with the artifacting. But if I set it to like 50%, it's not too bad. And I can combine this to a smart object, and then we can do some of my... Oh, God. There's a lot of effects we could do. Oh, they're not on here. It's weird. So I can do this Princeton editing effect, which I do for pretty much everything. Then we can probably lower some of this stuff down. Because it's a little contrasty. It's a little crunchy still. Let's see what everything looks like. So it just doesn't look great in here, so we can fix that. And it could be because... it just looks that way because of what we did in the other area. So I'm going to open up this smart object. And everything I do, if you're not familiar with Photoshop, is done non-destructively. So we can go back any place in the process and fix things. So maybe I want this to be like 33%. So it's not going to be as crunchy. Let me turn all these back on and see what that looks like. Yeah, that's better. Let's do, there's a very big... Let's do some stereotypical stuff that I don't like, but it's fine. We pop this out so we can see what's going on. Hold on. I want my... I want my navigator up. Okay, I want this here. So these are down here. And you can see what's going on up here in the top right-hand corner. Okay, so I want adjustments. I want hue and saturation. I'm going to grab the yellows. We're going to whiten his teeth and whiten his eyes. So I like to do saturation down, lightness up. Not too much, just a normal amount. Invert this. And then grab a regular brush. So I'm just going to grab a regular, small, soft brush. And then paint on that with white. And then we can always adjust this if it looks too crazy. But I don't think it looks too bad. I'm going to put it on the bright of his eyes as well. And we're going to brighten up this too. Just going to go like that and go like this. So now he's got these nice bright eyes. Maybe we fix this a little bit more. Let's just save this. We'll leave this up for inspiration. Let me go back here and go here. So then this is updated here. So that looks okay. I think his face is a little dark. So we're going to brighten that up a little bit. And we're going to do that with a blend if where it doesn't affect the light parts. It only affects the dark parts. So I can hold down the option key and drag this over. And maybe a little bit more like that. Hit OK. And then we can adjust this down. But we just want to brighten up a little bit. See, before, after. And then we just want to do a little bit of a selective color up here. Oh, they changed the selective color. So it shows you what it's actually doing, but I want to go to the yellows and I want to add some blue and add some red. Add a lot more blue, I think. No, just a little bit. There's a weird greenish tinge that I can see. I just want to make him a little bit less green. That should be fine. All right, so we want to go with... We've got Thomas, quote-unquote, Bubby Broders. So we're going to put that somewhere. So usually with these sports cards, and I've got a bunch of cards lying around here that I can look at. We can go two different ways. One, we can go super symmetrical and have everything come from the center. That's usually what Select does. So that's sort of this card I shared here. everything sort of mirrors out to the side. Or we can do something asymmetrically, like this Devin Hester card, where we've got a name on the side, autograph can still go at the bottom. So I think what we should figure out, and I think this is a good way of starting, is what names can we have? What's a good name for a card for Good Golf? And if you don't know about Good Golf, how would you find out about it? So I'm actually going to pull up ChatGPT and we're going to see what it says. Sometimes it gives good ideas, sometimes it gives bad. So what I want to do is I want to find insider sort of quips they have. So I'm making a Good Golf sports card and I need names for the title of the card. Can you give me insider? That's not how you spell anything. Inside jokes that the Good Golf members say often as a tagline. And we'll see what this does. Yeah, it's all golf stuff. See, so if it's Bubby Bombs. So you could have something, if we did something like this, like I like this idea. So if we did something in the background, it said Bubby Bombs, Bubby behind him, bombs in front of him with a photo. You know, that might be something that looks cool. Make it generic for all 5 members and an alliteration. Alliterations usually work pretty good in golf cards or in sports cards. Let's see what it says. Birdie Boys isn't bad. Pin Seekers is classic. Birdie Boys is not terrible. Good Greatness isn't good. Fairway Fan, Vibing Veterans, Butter Ballers, Wedge Wizards. See, I like Birdie Boys, but Birdie Boys might be like a thing. So let me do this too. Good. I want to see if they have specific names for their apparel. So like if they just have, so they have the Canyon Collection, Divot Ditzy, Wildflowers and Wedges, Tee to Green Polo. So they've got fun little names like this. So it depends on what we think a good name would be. I don't hate Birdie Boys, but I feel like Birdie Boys is something else. Pin Seekers is kind of nice. I'm just trying to think in my brain how this would look. Let's look at this. So if we look here at our inspiration, like this is nice, this Lonzo one at the bottom. If we have text in the bottom and a photo, maybe we add another photo of him. This Jamal Adams one is really good because it has a lot of stuff going on with it, but it's just one simple photo. Let me hide this, but I can still see chat, so I can see what you guys are saying. I'll just do this. So, I mean, this is one here. So this is Upper Deck Company, Goodwin Champions, just Tiger Woods, and the word golf. So we'll have something that says their name, but it's how do we want to incorporate the image with the photo? Like I like this where it says Tiger Woods behind it. It's just what do we want the name to be? Maybe it's just good, and we don't go crazy with it. We don't try to be cute. We just make it say good and good. So I'm going to hide these. So I'm just going to take this photo and give it a color overlay of just black, just so we can play around with how things look without worrying too much about the image. So Lacey, how do you print out a sports card to make it feel like it? Really, you have to find a printer company, a big company to print it, because they'll have a $1 million printer that can do it. So like I got these printed. This is a Flying High insert from the Dayton 6th NIL sports cards we made. So, I mean, the way I have this design and the way I design all of these, if you haven't watched me do these live, is you need to find a printer that can print on holographic paper. I think I had. Oops. Oop, falling over. So like this is a sheet of holographic paper. So this is a 13 by 19 sheet. I cut a couple cards out of. But they would get these pieces of paper from a supplier, and then they would print on them. This would fit 18 cards, 6 by 3. And what they do is they have to have a printer that prints a layer of white first, and then prints the CMYK on top of it. So that's the trouble. Not all printers are compatible with doing sports cards. So the company I used for those cards I just showed you is called Think Patented, but they don't specialize in that. The company that I'm going to theoretically work with is called Matera. And I think they just changed this website. So if we go to print, the flying here, they specifically have a section for trading cards and memorabilia. So like they print for Topps, they print for Panini. So this is who I am going to work with, and I have spoken with them about getting cards made. So I'm making all of these designs, so once I get the go-ahead from someone, I can just send them the files and they know exactly what's going on. So let's see here. So we've got this. So I'm trying to craft in my mind. I'm trying to just see behind this image, what can we do in terms of golf that works? And I'm trying to think, because we can put a hole on here. We can make it so there's, you know, a pin in the background. It could be on a green. It's not a bad idea. So let's do this. I'm going to search aerial view hole 17 Sawgrass. So TPC Sawgrass is a famous golf course. It's like the most expensive golf course to play. But they have this island green. So doing something with this, it's a really weird shape actually, might work out. But that could be where their photo stands. So how can we incorporate their photo? And how can we put it there? I think it'd be cool if we can get some fleshed out ideas for individual cards that are very specific to people. What their favorite hole is, or what is their favorite memory on Good Good. You know, what are their favorite moments? So let me go on here. Let's pull some of these logos. I don't know if I want this bleed or not. Not that bleed. This bleed or not. I feel like I will, because I feel like I want these cards to very much be white with a little bit of holographic on them. So it'd be similar to... Let me see what I have lying around here. None of these. Really like a select card. It's like, here's another one. This is a select card, just with a photo of Obi Toppin on it. So basically the holographic would be easy because it's the only part that's being blocked with a holo, or blocked from the holographic, would be the image of the player. And I lost my mouse. Where did my mouse go? It's right here. I found it. And I think it would probably be best if we have two photos. So that's why I like doing... I'm always a big photo, little photo kind of guy. We got a big photo, then a little photo like this. So maybe we do ignore that, and I just kind of do what I want and do what I like. So let's cut this photo out real quick. So I'll just use select subject, select and mask. I'm not even gonna look. I'm gonna look at the edit just a little bit. But they have improved the selected mask where it works almost flawlessly from the get-go. Now, if you've got hairier arms, it might mess some things up and it doesn't understand what a golf club is. So we can go like this, and we'll just cut this I will say, Lacey, one of the most, I get questions all the time on Instagram now since I've been posting these videos of how do you print your cards? How do you print your cards? And it's one of those things where, like, I don't physically print them at home. There are people who do stuff like that, but they just put like a film over a print, or they don't do it the way it's done professionally. And I would want everything to be as professional as possible. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a classic 2-person composition. What's up, Graphic Dan? Welcome in. Have I heard of Photopea? Probably. It's just an app, right? Yeah, it's just a photo editor. I think I've used it once before on a phone. So one thing I don't like is their logo doesn't have a lot of stuff I can theoretically use. They have this club shape that we can do something with if we had a vector version of their logo. But I can probably go in here and we can probably recreate it. Oops, I'm gonna go like this and go like this. So we have this shape. So we can do something with this shape. And we can use this as accents somewhere. So let me see if I can remake this. I think I need to open up Illustrator to do that. Is Photopea a piece of software you use on a phone to make stuff, personally? Here's some cool stuff I'm making. Okay, so here's the Good logo. Can I give this a color overlay? Does that work in here? I'll just do it here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna grab the pen tool because the pen tool is fine in Illustrator. It sucks everywhere else. And we're gonna recreate this shape. So in order to do that, what I'm doing is I'm only paying attention to where the middle of this line is. And I want it to be pretty much in the center of this big fat line. So I think this needs to go up a little bit. These need to be on the same level. So I think it's kind of like that. Because then I can take this, I can drag it down like this. I can grab this one, drag it down like this. And I can grab this one and drag it like that. So now all I have to do is make this a big old thick sort of thing, or just go like this, and we have this shape. And I'm going to put it in here as layers because then it's an editable object. Except I didn't paste the whole thing. So this is our shape now that we have that we can play around with. So I can put it like back here behind Bubby. We can use this as sort of a start for what we want. So maybe we have the card like this. And I like this idea. So we go like this. We've got our big image here, but the big image is actually, this is just one path. We don't need that there. It's actually cut to this. So it's like this, which is nice. Then we could just paint out this way so we can make this a little bit larger. Oops. Oops. So we can have him go like this and sort of break out of this plane. And we can sort of group these together. So maybe it starts here. Let's get rid of this border so we can see what's going on. And this is actually gonna look like this. So this is really what we're designing around. And I'm trying to use these guides I have on here to tell me where things should go. So, you know, I can make this a little bit larger so it touches here and there. So this takes up the whole spot. Maybe I bump everything up just a little bit so it's in the center of the card. And then we just redo this layer mask here, kind of like this. So I like this. I like this so far. This is a good This is a good spot. My logos can stay here. So I've got my logo and I've got the debut logo. So I don't think they have rookie cards or anything. So we're going to go with just that there. And then while I'm making this, what I'm going to think is I need to have similar photos for each guy where they are sort of at this angle. But that is a challenge for a later date. So I'm gonna, we don't need this anymore. I'm gonna turn this on. And we're gonna give this path a gradient overlay. And we're gonna set it to normal, and we're gonna give it a gradient overlay of these colors. So we can be consistent and use their brand colors. So I'm gonna grab that there, grab this here, grab this, go like that, boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, 100%. And we wanna make it 90, or we wanna make it negative 90. So I think this is what I want. So something like this. So we can have text over here, that would be nice. I do like the idea of having their logo just like right here. So it says good, good. We can probably put something else over there. We can also use this for anything else. So let me put this up here. So whenever I'm making something, like I've done stuff in like sports arenas and stuff like that, if you're making something for a team, I always figure out how can I utilize what they have. You know, if I'm making a Pacers graphic, how can I utilize their logo? Even if it's just an angle, how can I utilize that? What I'm trying to do is, yeah, I'm trying to flatten this out. So I'm just kind of rotating it around until it looks pretty flat like this. Lacey, I'm in Ohio. I went to the University of Dayton. I'm a University of Dayton fan, so that's why I reference the Pacers, because I'm a Obi Toppin fan, essentially. But we can do something like this, where this swoops around. Maybe it's upside down, like this. Maybe it's up a little bit. And this is where, like, a name can be. Maybe we take the top photo and we put it underneath the path. But it's outside of this, but it just breaks things up a little bit. Maybe it's just hidden a bit. And we go like this. And then what do we put down here, though? Good question. Okay, let me save first. Let me get rid of this thumb for today. Oh, I needed to save out the thumbnail. So this is my trading card template. Good, good, Bubby. So I think up here we put something. I think down here we put good, good. Maybe we don't put something here. Maybe we put the good, good logo down here. So I've got the good, good logo here. Maybe I just give it a color overlay of black for now. And we just zoom in here and we just put, you know, good, good down here. Something like here, maybe? No, that doesn't look good. Maybe we'll figure that out. We hit this so we can see what's going on. So this is a good this is a good little start for what we want. I do want him to break the plane of this to make it more interesting. But have you thoughts on the recent update that came to Photoshop beta? I made a very quick video on that actually today, Graphic Dan. I can show you guys here pretty quickly. Let me just flip some things around. So I'm just going to go like this. We're going to put this below this. We're going to take the gradient overlay and we're going to reverse it. So it's kind of like this. Do we want it on top? Maybe we make it even smaller. It's something kind of like this. I assume you're referring to the harmonize. Let me show you that real quick. Beta. So what Dan's referring to is in Adobe Photoshop beta, they just added a harmonize tool. So I did it on some of these. Let me pull up a completely different graphic. Let me just pull up, I'll make something just out of nowhere. So I did it for sports stuff, but I'm just going to do this. It's so laggy. Hold on. Maybe it looked bad because I was in CMYK for some reason. Create. Okay, so here's a document. Let me pull up. I'll pull this. I'll show you guys this in a sec. I'm just gonna pull up Unsplash. Man standing. Let's grab this guy. So we're gonna put this guy into a scene. City Alley Night. Let's put him in this. I've downloaded this photo, I think, 4 times before. And we'll toss these in here. Lacey, you're asking for baseball, if you want to change a helmet to be a matte helmet instead of glossy. Is that what you're talking about in terms of a jersey swap? I will say it's one of the hardest. It's stupid to do. It's so hard. Honestly, what I would do is find a helmet of a different player who has a matte helmet at the similar angle. It's the easiest way to make it look matte, because going from glossy to matte is kind of hard. You have to basically Photoshop out all the glare and then sort of add that matte texture to it. So they say, this is what the Photoshop guys say you should be able to do. You should be able to go here, and you should just be able to hit remove background. And it will remove the background from this, which it did a fine job. And then you just click on harmonize. So we'll see what harmonizing this does. Now, from the test I did, when it goes from light to dark, it makes things super dark. So we'll see what this does. From my understanding, it does a good job of putting you in a good starting position. That's not bad. So this to this actually did a pretty good job. It added the shadows too. The only thing I would do to this is I'd probably go to adjustments, I'd probably go to curves, and I would just make it a little bit darker, but like barely. I didn't even do anything. It actually looks pretty, this actually looks pretty good. So before, after. That's pretty good for one click. You could then go in and do your own individual adjustments. I'm going to actually save this out and tweet this because it actually did a pretty good job. And I think that's something worth showing. Man, I named something harmonize. Let's do this. Harmonize. I don't care what this is named. All right, let me just toss these on here. The new harmonize feature worked pretty damn well on this example I showed just now on my stream. Might be a bit light still, but looks pretty solid. And post. Okay. Quit out of that. We don't need this anymore. I think I've ran into that problem with helmets for football before or something like that. I've only come across that a couple times with jersey swaps, and it sucks. Jersey swaps in general, I don't really like doing, but it happens. So right now, all we've done so far is we've taken some elements of their brand and sort of laid a couple things out. Where's his name at? So one thing we need to figure out eventually is, you know, we've got his name. We're going to put his name down here. How is that going to look? Do we want to have a name? Do we want this here? Because I really like the idea of having name of card goes here. And then we rotate this like this. Dan, yes, I use Pinterest to make these. I don't use them to make the artboards. I use them to gather stuff, and then I have an InDesign file that I can just drop them in to export this exact size. But to find inspiration, I use Pinterest. Humorously, I did trivia last night with some of my neighbors, and one of the questions they asked was, what website can you use to make virtual bulletin boards? And the answer he was looking for was Pinterest. And I was like, you don't make bulletin boards on Pinterest. You make mood boards, but you don't make those. I don't know what I want this to say. I might just want this to say good. And what we can do too is if we have a good version of the logo, we can use it in other spots. So we could use it as texture somewhere else. I don't think we can do that very well here. Let me just name this Pin Seekers because I like that. I don't know what font to use. I'm gonna use this Beechwood font that I've been using. We could go two different ways with this. So we can go super luxury with it, or we can go sort of more sporty. And I think I want to go the more sporty route. So I think we go Pin Seekers like this. Maybe I don't like how that looks though. I think I don't like it because I want him to be a little bit smaller. This whole time what I'm doing is I'm just trying to balance everything together. So I'm using this sort of design theory tool of balance to figure out where things need to be. So in Pin Seekers doesn't have to be huge. You can sort of go like that. I'm looking to see where everything hits. I want it to be inside this border. So let's go with Pin Seekers. Let's commit to that name for this card. And the reason being is we now know things we can implement for this. So Pin Seekers, so that has to do with golf flags. So I'm going to look on Envato here. Just right here. Pop this up like that. And there's got to be a 3D asset here because Envato is great for 3D assets like this. There's got to be a golf flag. So I'm going to view a 3D render of this. And I'm going to rotate it and see what this looks like. I think that's good. I don't want a ping of this though. I want a PSD file. So I'm going to load this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put their logo. We're going to put it behind here on the flag. Pin Seekers can go wherever we want. I'm going to put that up here. We'll tweak that text so it looks good later. Go to my downloads. I always do this. All right, so here is this asset we just downloaded. So the good thing with Envato is we can turn off the background. We can go and select an area. So I can turn on, I just want the flag. And let me just make sure that's the flag. Yep. So I can go in here and grab the magic wand tool to grab just this red color. So if I go in here, I can go to adjustments and add a gradient map on top of it. And that will allow me to grab this, their color. So I can go in here and I can make this flag now. If I just add a color like this to it. I like to keep the black in there. And maybe the flag would be sort of this at the top. And we can make a blue flag out of it, like that, which is exactly what I want. So now the flag is their colors, which is what we want. We don't need this open anymore. We don't need this open anymore. I'm going to close out of that for now. So we've got good. But here's the problem. This doesn't contrast well with the... This doesn't contrast well with this sort of background Pin Seeker thing we have going on. And when I blow this up, it's a little pixelated, I think. So we might just have to play around with how this looks. So go like this, and we have it say good. So this is good. This is the good logo. Great. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate these. I'm going to convert these to a smart object so they're on their own like this, which is what I want. Okay, good. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go to adjustments. Gradient map again. I'm going to drag over this a little bit to give it a little bit more that's fine. A little bit more contrast like this, which is what I want. I'm going to take this flag back here and I'm going to blur it like 3 pixels. We're going to save this out as a displacement map. So I'm going to name it whatever name displace as a regular Photoshop document like that. That's the flag displace. I'm going to copy this, turn this off, go like this. Get rid of the gradient map, go like this, go like this. Okay. So I'm going to set this up how I want. So I want it to be like this. I'm just trying to figure out how this would be on the flag. It'd be kind of like this. So what I should be able to do is I should be able to go up to filter, distort, displace. And I should be able to displace it using that displacement map. And it should follow the contour of the flag, which it did a pretty decent job of. I'm going to delete the displacement first. I'm going to hit undo. I'm going to move the flag up a little bit because it's moving it 10 over and 10 down. That's what those numbers do. So I'm going to hit displace, 10 over, 10 down. And since it's the same size as our composition here, it's going to move the flag like that. Then what I can do is I can go in here and I can pull in parts of the underlying layer like this. And we can hit save, which I just saved over the displacement, which is not what I want. I'll just save this as flag. I can always go back and tweak it later if I need. But I can right click this now, replace the contents, and just grab flag. So now it says good on a flag, and it looks a little bit more correct. And we can always go back in here and we can tweak that however we want. So I think it needs to be a little bit more apparent. So let me just set the overlay at 100 or like, just need a little bit brighter. I think that's good. Okay, cool. I like how this looks. Nice little good flag for pin seekers. We don't need the other flag anymore. We don't need the logo anymore. We're going to hide it because we might put it somewhere else. Thanks, Lacey. I think this is looking pretty solid. So for contrast, we're going to put like a golf course photo behind them. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a photo of the hole 17 at, what is this? This is a photo. Here's a photo of Rust. That's not what I wanted. We're doing hole 17 at TPC Sawgrass. Really? Hold on. I know I took a photo of hole 17 because I had it as my background, and I took it in. I had the privilege of going down to TPC Sawgrass just before COVID hit, and I was able to take a walk around with nobody there. It was pretty cool. I just need to find the photo. Let me look on my design server real quick. And if you guys have any questions about anything or suggestions, you holler at me and let me know. Awesome. Let me look at a couple things real quick. Someone just sent me the National Card Convention's going on right now, and I made the booth for Card Collector 2, so someone just sent me photos of that. I'll share those in a sec because they look cool. I want Bradley Jack Design photos. The funny thing is I can just find a photo. I'm spending the time to find a photo of a photo I took because I want to. But nothing is organized. Because I thought I saved the file out as just... yeah, it's right here. I saved it out as just 17. And it's opening in Photoshop Beta again. Let me get rid of that. Save image to downloads. Save image to downloads. Yeah, it looks pretty solid. So this is what it is. So I'm just gonna merge all this stuff together. And this is a photo made up of a bunch of different photos. Because this file is... Oh, is this trimmed down? No, this is a 30 inch wide image. Just combine all this. Combine this all together. Okay, so I'll take that and I'll just paste it in here. We'll get rid of this color overlay. And we'll just go like this. And I need this to be like 25% as big. Where's it at? Oh god, did I only do it one way? Yeah, hold on. I think oh, hold on. It's not a... Why is it not showing that it's a smart object? I don't like that. Whatever. Let me just save this out real quick. We'll go with that. It'll be a lot easier. I'm gonna save this down to be a lot smaller. And I'll save this out as just a JPEG real quick. So this photo was taken the day they canceled the NBA. This was the day everything shut down. What's up, Alex? I just had a feeling that the comment was going to be... I had a feeling that it was going to be you. Couldn't tell you why. Just had a feeling you were going to hop on here. Okay, so let me find this image. Yeah, whatever. Whatever Photoshop, it's fine. So here's the image now. And now it says it's actually a smart object. So we'll just go like this. And then where's the pin? The pin's right there. So do we have enough room to put the pin here? So we kind of have the pin in it. Kind of something going like that. Yeah, we're doing Bubby to start. Sorry, someone sent me an email. And it's just one of those stereotypical, hey, we can help your social media grow. And I'm like, no, it's fine. So I think what we might do... Yeah, I know. That's what I said. He hit his first hole-in-one, like, just days ago. I don't like that. I don't know if I like this photo in the background, because I don't think it's green enough and yellow enough. I don't think it gives enough contrast. So maybe we just make this... I think maybe we just make it smaller. That might help. I don't hate that. That's not bad. We just need to figure out how to have contrast here. Okay, so the flag, we don't want to be going past this. I don't know if I want this just photo of him looking off into the distance as the other photo. Him hitting would be good, but I couldn't find many good photos of him hitting. I think one of these is good. One of these is him fist pumping. The quality of the photo is not great, though, because it's from his Instagram. It's like the quality is pretty bad. Let me open it up. Yeah, I just don't. It's all about quality right now. Oops. Oops, 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 oops. That's why I like this one better. But maybe we just do the one image. And it's like this. And then we can take the flag and sort of do more with it. Have it hit over here a little bit, maybe. And then we do something over here. So this actually, the funny thing is this warrants a nice area for an image to go. So let me hide these. Let me hide good here. So like honestly having a full-size photo of him down here, like hitting small like this, would look really good. And then it's just, where do we put his name? Where do we put the actual content for the card? And how do we have them there? So it's sort of like the Alexander Botez card I made. Let me delete this. This is probably going to be good. If we make this small, it should be solid. Once again, select subject worked great. I thought it had... Let me smooth it out a little bit. Dan, can you use any photos of athletes, or is there copyright rules on being allowed to use certain ones? Yeah, I can't. Theoretically, I can't use any of these images. Now, I'm using them just to sort of make something. I don't make any money off of doing this, so it's kind of like a gray area, fair use sort of thing. I'm sure photographers would argue against that, who took the photo. But when I get cards made, the idea would be, this is the concept. Okay, here are the photos I'm going to actually buy and use from Getty or wherever. And then you would pay to have a license to use them for copyrighted commercial purposes. I'll give you an example of how that works in a little bit when I'm done doing this. Because I've talked to Getty before about it for a card I wanted to get done that never did. But it gives you the idea of how it works. So let me just go in here and do this. Yeah, I'll partner with Ken Griffey Jr. and the big unit, and we'll just use their photographs. Randy Johnson. I couldn't think of Randy Johnson. I'm having a hot pack get done. So the idea of what I'm going to just conceptualize with this is something you would see in a pack. So I'm going to flesh out a lot of different card concepts and then have those in a fake pack. So nothing's actually getting done with this. This is all conceptual. But if they're on board with it, really for like this, all I would have to do is have them supply me photos they're allowed to use. If they took these photos for their website and they're allowing me to use them commercially and it's free, that's great because that's less cost, more money on the back end that could be used. If they own all of the photos and own all the content, that's best case scenario. So let me edit this real quick. Let me save this to the desktop. So I wouldn't say I'm doing a hot pack because hot packs are like weird. It's just weird nomenclature, but just a pack of cards is what we're mocking up. Like it would be cool to have a card where it showcased like any of the like hole-in-ones people had. Like that would be cool. So then it could be like moments that they had that are highlighted on a card. But let me show you a card that I designed. And I actually talked to Getty about getting the photos done for it. Let me just... So this photo, this here. So this card here that I designed around Devin Hester. So this card theoretically could be used. I erased all the Bears logos. So all of this stuff should be legal to use because it's just numbers. The bust is actually copywritten too. So it actually have to get permission from the NFL Hall of Fame to do this. But this is a card I mocked up that would be cool to get made. So I talked to Getty about it, and I forget what it was. I think it was like $600 a card. $600 an image to use it. Let me find the email. Getty images. I mean, yeah, there's lots of rules that have to do with copyright, but you have to have permission. I would also have to have permission from Devin Hester to do this too. Let me brighten something up. Yeah, I should be much brighter like that. I quit out of something that's much better. I mean, people own their identity. It's so I get why. So here we go. Licensing price from Getty. I don't see the quote anymore. I'm pretty sure it was... It's funny. I might have talked to him. What is this? Whatever. It's fine. I think it was like $600 a card. Or $600 an image. It's $300, $400, $500 an image. Because the photographer needs to get paid because they took the photo. And then... Actually, it's mainly that. And then I would have to ask them and they would have to get money to it. So that's why I'm looking at when I get these made, I need to make sure my cost is as low as I can get it. So I'm not screwing myself on how much this is going to cost. Because I'm going to have a lot of upfront risk associated with this. And I need to make sure that I can do this feasibly. Which is why I'm trying to find someone who is down for doing sort of a back-end revenue deal. That way I can sell these and then the success of the project hinges on, or how much money they get hinges on the success of the project. But I need to find the right kind of person who isn't going to care as much for a lot of that front end money, which is hard to do. I did not do that the right way. Let me do negative 100 here, negative 50. And I'm all for photographers getting paid, and I want to do everything the correct way. And I have no problem doing that. I mean, there are a bunch of quote unquote card artists that exist that just copyright infringe all the time, and it's super annoying. Like, they just like run AI stuff through, and then they make things that are like quote unquote limited editions, but they just look bad, and they're just blatantly infringing on people's copyrights. So I think this is pretty solid for what we want. I think we can take this guy now. We can have him in front of it. It's not a bad idea. I think what I was going to do originally is have it pop out like this. Jack and you are watching from the car. Wonderful. Jack is my godson, and that is my twin brother commenting. I get video game advice from Jack because he has played video games I have not beat. I think we could put this here. I don't know where to put his name. See, this is where I want to be intentional with where all of this stuff is. All of the text, all of his names. Where does it go? And we're going to have multiple cards in this. This is just one card. So this would be we're going to put his autograph. That's a question. I don't know if... I wonder if someone has his autograph somewhere. That's the thing, too, is like, I don't know where we can find autographs. I doubt someone has sold any sort of Broders auto. Is there anyone else named Broders? What is that? The first thing that pops up is a Ken Griffey Jr. card. You see, that's the thing where I like doing this because they don't have any cards. There are no good cards. There are no autographs of these guys, and it'd be cool to have them on there. So let me hide this small front. Let me grab this. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this white. I'm going to give it a slight gradient. Let me give it a slight drop shadow. I'm just giving it a drop shadow so I can see it. Because I stretched it out a little bit, but I'm going to bring it back to its normal position and kind of go like this. Then what I want to do is I want to just add a gradient. And I want the gradient to be those colors that I had. So I'm going to duplicate this and just put this up here. No, we'll just sort of cheese it. We'll just make this larger. Just kind of go like this. So what I want is I want this to be the autograph area. So I'm just going to type out Bubby in some sort of handwritten font. And just do like a pseudo fake signature. And we'll put it on top here. Bubby! We call my dog Bubby, so I'm surprised she's not freaking out. Bubby's a fun little nickname. Or like just something like this. Really cheese it, because who knows what their signature actually looks like. Bubby, like that. And then we can move this around. So maybe we move it over like this. Maybe we flip it upside down. I'm looking at the bottom here, trying to see how these two things interact. So this feels a little bit better than what I had before. So I can do this, and then we can have down here now, it can say Thomas Bubby Broders. But then it's what kind of font do we want to use? Do we want to use a font that is more elegant, more golf related, or do we want to make it super sporty? So right now I'm just going to use this Beechwood font. I'm all about this Beechwood font. It's a variable font, which is nice. Make this all caps. Put this down here, but then bump it out like this. This can go even smaller even. Kind of like that. Oops. Let's make it 10. Center it. Save. So I'm trying to think, how can I make this a cool area to get signs? So like what they do on Select here, they just have everything like sort of outlined in gold and stuff like that. This one's called Lightning Strike, and it's got a little lightning bolt next to it and some lines. So we could do something similar, because this is supposed to be like a golf club head. So maybe we add a little bit of a texture to this to make it look interesting. I might just write out the name Bubby. Let me try this actually. I'm interested to see how this would work. So I'm going to make this a solid color. I'm going to put it in the background. I'm just going to make it a little bit larger. Okay, I'm just going to screenshot this because I don't care. We're going to go back to ChatGPT. Oh, it's right here. Make this look like a pen signature. So I'm just going to take that image I made and just tell ChatGPT to make it into a pen signature. And I think this is a good use of AI, is something that is nonsensical and doesn't matter. It's just trying to make this look more like a pen signature instead of a font. And are there ways we can fake that in Photoshop? Maybe, but it doesn't matter enough because it's going to be a different signature anyway. So we'll let that load for a hot sec. Let me just move it over here, and then we'll go back to Photoshop so we can see what's going on. So I'll get rid of that. I think I want to make this a little bit wider and a little bit thicker. And then I can make it a little bit smaller. When I was in college, we had a lot of type classes, and I was always obsessed with just making type super small. So I'm going to turn this into a smart object. I'm going to give it a gradient overlay that I can... Oh, I'll just put a gradient on it. That's actually even better. Do something sort of like this. And I can't hit enter apparently. Set it to like 5%. Save. This is almost done. It'll be funny if this adds like a pen or just doesn't do what I want at all, but that's sort of how things go. Okay, so we have this small... Lost him. Where'd he go? I didn't delete it, right? Did I delete him in the front? Oh no, it's right here. I just can't read. So maybe we don't have him standing. I'm trying to just see, there's a fruit fly. I'm trying to see how we can still incorporate this, but have his auto on here. So if this is his auto, you know, maybe it does come off the side, and that allows for easier signing. You know, if it's something like this, maybe we flip this around now. An error occurred while trying to do that, so we'll try it again. Let's see what this says. You think it wouldn't take too long to generate that. So if this is like this, I don't hate that. It's really how big does a signature need to be? And I think I have some examples of some signatures and their sizes. I took photos. I have photos of cards. I got too many notifications on my phone. Let me just send a photo over. I can just use the Alona Mar example, which is probably on my desktop. But now it's in my downloads folder. Okay, we'll just put this here. We'll just make this larger. And we go like this. So it just needs to be like, whatever. It needs to be like this big. Yeah, so it's plenty big how it is now, which is good. It's what we need. Let me refresh. I don't know why ChatGPT is taking so long to do this. It shouldn't take that long to make something look like a signature. So I think what we can do is we can take this background, which is this, and move it over a little bit. Give a little bit of padding on the edge, move into this area a little bit more. I don't want it to be too far off of this line though, because I want padding to be there. So we'll keep that the same. I just need to make sure that he moves along with it. Kind of like that. And maybe we make the good flag actually a different color. That way there's some contrast. Maybe the flag changes colors and that's a difference between our parallels. It's not a bad idea. But we can take this and I'm going to give this a... This is a smart object. Okay. I'm going to give this a stroke. And I'm going to give all of these strokes... I'm going to make strokes of purple. And this is just telling me where a holographic line is going to be. And we'll just change them later to be white. Sometimes I do it this way. Sometimes I do it another way. But I think this is good for what I want to do. So we got small front. ChatGPT is almost done figuring out how to make a signature look like a signature. Let me go one here, like this, and save this. But I like how this looks so far. It's only been an hour. Not bad. Pretty good use of an hour. I'm not crazy about what this looks like over here. I got to figure out how that's going to look. It looks better where it is now. The background, I think we need to play around with. Let's get rid of that. Because I don't hate I'm not against the idea of there being a lot of white. But I'm not against it having something on the edge. I'm trying to think of, because if this is there and the whole back is, say, holographic, what is breaking up all of that holographic color? Select does a good job of having a bunch of like golden lines in places. A lot of times it's just like line work. How does the line work affect everything? So I'm just going to make this say Thomas Broders. And I'm going to have it sit right there. Which doesn't look great because I think this isn't fully straight. Which is a problem. I don't know if I can get that to be where I want it. So this might live somewhere else. And then his signature is there. Or maybe I make it say, this is his authentic signature. There's a bunch of different ways we can do it. Okay, so this is what... this is what ChatGPT did. And it actually is exactly what I want. So there, now it says Bubby. It looks like a marker. It looks awesome. Should do that with like my signature. Be like, hi ChatGPT, can you make this look better? So just make this say Bubby. And then I gotta figure out where to put his name. Maybe his name goes over here. And it's just inside the padding. But it says Thomas Broders, Bubby. We got more room now for his autograph here. But I think I want to add something to that to make it more interesting. So I'm just trying to think, get some inspiration from what I have lying around. Let me pull some cards out. All right. Let me see if any of these are signed. Not really. So, a bunch of different ways we can do this. Like, what Tyson Beck did with these Obi Toppin cards is he just signed down here at the bottom. You can't really see it because it's blown out and he signed in orange. But it's just on there. A lot of times it's just this tiny little sticker that's in a square. So I think what we have is actually kind of fine. Now this one has a fun little pattern behind it. And we might be able to do something with the Good logo to do that. And we're going to do that. So I'm going to open this up. We're going to give this a color overlay. I'm just going to make it black. I'm just going to make this a pattern. So I can just go up to edit and then hit define pattern. And then I can just say good. Okay, so that's a pattern now. So what I can do is I can go here. I need to find this thing. Nothing is named. Okay, so this is the signature. Auto box. Great. So we're going to put inside the auto box, we're going to have clipped this pattern. So I'm going to make a new layer. And this is the way I know to do this. There might be, I don't know if there's a better way of doing this. So I just go up to edit and I hit fill. I want to say, I want to fill with a pattern. I want to use the pattern of good. I want to do a brick fill, which is what I want. I'm going to hit OK. So this is what it looks like here. So it's going to fill like this. So I want there to be more spacing. Just like that. Then I can hit OK. But I want it to be at an angle. And usually I would do that in the other prompt. So let's do just 30 degrees like that. And then I can set this to just be 33% or something like that. Maybe even less. Maybe like 10%. So it says good on there. They've got their branding going on there. And there's a nice little place for an autograph to go. So I think that is solid. I think that looks pretty good. So I think really what we need to figure out just for the rest of this card is put that as that. These both white now. What do we do with the background? What do we do with the names? And what can work for every guy? So we need to fix it. We need to say pin seekers and it needs to look better. We've got him in the bottom right, which is fine. But where's his name going? Because right now, this is very randomly placed. It doesn't look like I cared where this went. Which I didn't. It's just placed down there. So it's not actually being a part of the party. It's just there. And I think what I want to do, and I don't know if I can do this. New smart object via copy. Oh, I guess I can just do this. What about a patch on his shirt? Like do a patch card? That would be... Oh. Gotcha. Is that like if that was a thing I knew they did that said hi my name is, that would make sense. Now what they would do in golf, so if I look at a golf scorecard, this is any golf scorecard, they all look the same. There's a spot at the bottom that says scorer and attest. And that's where you sign it to verify that's what the score is. So we could do something with that and figure out how to incorporate that into it. But I have an idea right now what I want to do, and it's going to be... It's not exactly what I want. Because what I want to do is I'm going to offset this path, which I can't do. I can do it here, though. So I go here, I can offset the path a little bit. Like that. And then offset the path again. Like that, and then do it again. And then I can grab all of these. And I can paste them in here. Do I want to do them as layers? I don't know if I want to do them as layers. Are there 4 different ones? Yes, there are. Okay, so I need to make these the same size as the background. But I need to basically hide all of these. So go like this, and I just need these to match up perfectly. Which they should, because it's the same exact shape. I just gotta finesse it a little bit. So I go like that. So if I hide this, I can put this now behind it, and then put this somewhere, and then put this somewhere. And these can all be different things. So these might just be fills of 0, and then they all have strokes applied to it. Or these are all shapes. I can just do 100. Am I going to do the shirt on the card? I'm not going to do a patch just because I don't know what that would incorporate from a realistic standpoint for a card. So I'm going to set these to overlay. Why are those not being overlaid? That's weird. Pass through, overlay, pass through. Oh, it is overlaying. It's just how the card is. So I think having some sort of pattern in the background would be nice like this. And it sort of emanates out. Now, I think I need 1 or 2 more. So I need to basically undo what I did and paste these in here. I think we could mock up a patch card. I feel like that'd be like weird for them to do, but people, people might want it. Patch cards are patch cards. So that might be a card we put in here. But I don't see that being like a feasible thing they would want to do. And I'm just trying to make this as realistic as possible. Okay, as I turn all of these back on, turn this off, grab these. These are working files or working paths because of the way I put them in here. And then we set this to overlay. And it is set to overlay. We just set it to like 50% or like 25%. And then we take it and we go like this. So the pin seekers are only in the back like that. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to make it go... The outer one is thick, and then they get progressively thinner, so it adds more effect. Seven, and then this is 6. So they get progressively smaller. And it could be a thing of where we have more of them to make the effect a little bit more apparent. Might look better. But it's just a background texture, so I think it's fine how it is. And again, the pink is going to be all white. I think we can make this front image a little bit larger. And then this would actually be like a top layer. So I'm just going to put it up here because he can sign over his leg. It'll be fine. No one cares. Okay, pin seekers. I wonder how we can make this look better. Oh, I want the width to be all the way. Like this. I'm trying to think. So pin seekers is like, and that's this emanating from the background is helping sort of target in. So like it's a target, circles in. Like if you're seeking the pin, it's a target. So this kind of adds a little bit of a target effect. So we have this say pin seekers. This is as wide as possible. I think I want pins to be super wide. Because like this makes sense having it this way. But what we can do too is we can have it, we can change it completely. It's just I don't know how I want it to say pin seekers. This is where, I mean, this is graphic design. Graphic design is contemplating all sorts of text and how it works. Like, do I want it to follow this line or do I want it to just be by itself? Maybe it says pin seekers right here. So maybe I change this so it's super wide. And we go like this. Or maybe I copy it paste it like that where it says pin seekers. Oops, there's everything. Maybe, it's like this where it says pin seekers. And maybe this is its own thing. So it's still following that with the lines. Where it says pin seekers, we've got his photo here. This gives us the ability to move his photo over now and make it a little bit larger. Kind of like this. You can move pin seekers up a little bit maybe. But then it might look good where pin seekers is over here. So then you just contemplate the whole kit and caboodle. I go to live so I can see what's going on. And that's the challenge, is figuring out compositionally. So like if you were to look at this, which we're doing, if you look at this from afar, what do you see first? You probably see his photo first, which is good. Then you might go over to the good flag. Then you might go down here. This is all afterthought, which is fine. But we wanted to say pin seekers. And I mean, we could do something like this where it's like really weird, but it doesn't say, it's kind of like this. But that's really kind of cheesy and kooky and kind of looks weird. So that's the question. So let's do this. Can I just do that? Let's look at this in the background. I'm looking at it. Some of these don't have any text on them, or they don't have a lot of text, or it's not dynamic or interesting. It's just on there. So I don't see anything that screams like, this is how we can do pin seekers. I don't hate how this looks necessarily, because it follows the line. Like if it's right here, and maybe he's over just a little bit more now. But our text has like a stroke to it, so it would have a little bit of something. So it would look like this. I don't hate this, but it doesn't really read pen seekers, and it might look strange. So maybe it's something just like this. Maybe pin. Maybe this is super wide. Wow, that looks terrible. See, I don't like that at all. And again, maybe we don't have it say pin seekers. Maybe we change it. It's just there's so much time we could spend figuring out this typography, but it's not cool. So let me just hide that. I want to figure out where to put his name, but I want to turn that off. So this is the basis of what the card looks like. It's very templated, but looks nice. I think obviously, to me, it's very obvious we have his name down here somewhere. I don't want to just make it a plain rectangle though, but it would be something like this. I'm going to make it black for now. And black isn't bad. It's not that there's no reason we can't have contrast on here. I just need it to make sense with what we have here. So maybe it's something like this. It's just a little box like that then has his name in it. And I think that is a decent solve. Let me just put it over like this so everything's in the center so you can read it. And maybe it's off to the side just a little bit because we needed to say that. Then we can take his signature that's fake that we put on here and just sort of rotate it like this. And we do that. So I think this looks pretty cool so far. I'm going to take him. I'm going to put this into a group just so I can see what's going on. I'm going to give him a stroke as well. I don't want to give him a big stroke. We'll just do 6 like that. One thing I need to make sure though. So I can have it say his name, but I need to make sure it fits everybody's names. So Steven's got the longest name. So I need to make sure it works for all of them. So maybe I just left align it like this and we have it be like that. Thomas Broders. And maybe it's centered to somewhere like that. I think that's a decent fix for it. I don't like just having a plain black rectangle on here. So we're going to give this just a slight gradient overlay. And we're going to make it just black to white, but we're just going to make it like 25%. So it does that. And I think what we can do is we can then jump this in just a little bit so it's hidden behind him. Kind of like that. I think that is a good workaround for what we want. We've got small in the front. What I need to do though is I want to add that same stroke around here. And we're going to highlight him and we're going to select modify smooth like 5 pixels. And what that's going to allow us to do is do that. So then all of this is going to be, this is on the outside. Okay. So this is all going to be the holographic paper underneath. Shining. So if that's holographic, that's where I'm trying to think of what can be done in this outer area. I think we have a lot figured out. The only thing we need to do is fill up this space, and that's where we can fill it up, where with it says pin seekers. It's just how do we want pin seekers to look? And that's the struggle. So let me think on that for a sec. I think what I want to do too, I'm just going to hit save to randomly save, is I think I want to make the flag here a little bit darker. So I can just go into this gradient map and just drag this over a little bit. Drag this over a little bit. Because that's going to allow us, and we can say that the flag, this is the base flag, and we can change the color of the flag, and we can change the color of the background. I just feel, and I don't know what you guys think, that the background is too blue right now, or there's not a lot going on with it. And it could be these lines, but I also might be overthinking it. Because what we could do is we could put this border back in, which would give us a lot more area. Or maybe we take this border and we make the border... Oh, is that how I did that? I don't like how I did that. I'm going to just duplicate this. What's up, Kevo? Where's this? Where's... Oh, I can't do anything because this is locked. That's why. I'm going to change the stroke of this to be white. And then we give it a little bit. You know, we give it a little bit of a border, but not really. That way we can have some holographic on the sides come through. Or we can put a pattern there. I'm trying to think. Just like staring. Because, I mean, this is like... So this is a Prism card. It's mainly green. And I guess that's fine. So we're not going to do that. I think it's mainly fine if it's this. I just feel like we can do a little bit more with some of this stuff to make it slightly more interesting. And I think it's just, like we've said 800 times, this text that says pin seekers. I'm going to rotate it and just put it up here and we'll see how this looks. Because Pin Seekers is a good name for a card. And it might just be something as simple as that. And then it's just, to me, it's all, how does everything interact with each other? So if we look at this from afar, I'm going to look at it on a different screen here and hide this. So I see Bubby's. Pin Seekers isn't that prominent, which is kind of fine. Maybe we tweak the text. Bubby, Thomas Broders, good golf. I like what's going on. There's a little bit of an area here that we could use a little bit of maybe some overlap. Maybe we make this flag a little bit larger. Kind of like this. But I don't want it to go too far off. Oh, we need to give the flag a stroke too. But I don't want a lot of... Let's do like 6 or like 5. And is that really choppy looking? Yeah, it's real choppy. So what we need to do is we do this, and then we put it into a group, and then we smooth. Oops, that's the wrong application. We smooth it 5 pixels, and then we mask it, and that looks pretty solid. We need to take Bubby here, though. And select, modify, smooth. Smooth it a little bit, just to smooth out these borders. Okay. So I'm not in love with this. I like what we have going on right now. I think we need to have this in a little bit more. We need more space on this side, because that's just too far to the edge. So we'll eyeball some of this. And then where is things not being named at all? Good thing this is just for me and not a client. Small front. I just need to move him over a teeny bit. Kind of like that. Okay. So I'm looking at this as a whole, and I feel like everything's a little high. So I'm gonna grab almost literally everything and just move it down just a teeny bit. But I can't do that because of this, so I need to move this down a teeny bit, like that. Are these lined up now? Okay. So right now what I'm looking at is just padding on stuff. I'm gonna move this in just a little bit. And we're gonna move small front. We're gonna move him over here. Kind of like that. Okay. I'm going to give these logos a stroke on the outside. That is like 4. I'm also going to give them a stroke on the inside. That's like 1. Or maybe on the outside. I think I need to do on the outside, but I need it to be above that. So I just need to add it here so it's above it. Outside. So that'll make it so we can actually see those. Okay, so we're gonna save this. Let's see what this looks like now in a mock-up. Is there any particular mock-up you want me to put this in? Chat is the question. Or do we just want to do a straight on like we have been doing? And we can always change it at any point in time. So here's the template I've been using. It's available on my website at bradleyjackdesign.com. It's the 3D case mock-ups, I believe. Let me just, while this loads, clear up a whole bunch of stuff. Man, I need to just change that. Hold on. So I need to go in. I'm really quickly changing everything to open in Adobe Photoshop, not Photoshop Beta, because I downloaded the beta solely to try the thing, and I don't want it open. Yeah, Kevo, honestly, like, that's the whole reason I want to do the good. They don't have anything. There's a lot of streamers that intersect sports. They're definitely one of them. There's also some lesser known golf content creators that I know that might benefit from something like this too. Like, for instance, there's a girl named Marissa Wensler, who's actually from Dayton. We actually went to the same high school. She actually caddied for an opponent of mine and my dad a couple years ago in the member guest at the country club he goes to. But she played golf at Kentucky and was like the Western Am champ, and she does a lot of golf content. Oh, what's up, Sagaria? Do you know? I don't know if you know the Wenslers. Yeah, humorously, I know her sister is really good friends with someone I used to work with, which Sagaria knows. Yeah, so Gary, you know who Corey Link is, right? She's really good friends with Corey, who I think was near your grade in Centerville, but it's a huge thing. Whatever. Okay, so we got the auto up here. We've got this here. I don't know if Corey golfed too, but Mercer. But anyway, I contacted her, but she didn't answer my DM. It's probably buried in her DM. So, new smart object be copy. So this is the top. This is sets a multiply. We're gonna hide that for now. We're gonna make our back layer, which is this. So all we want to do is we want to make everything white. We get rid of the background. And this is the like important part of making sure that this looks like, this is the part people don't, sort of the part people skip. Okay, so holographic texture we're putting on there. So we want everything to be white. Let's start from the top. Let's start from the top back. Okay, so we want to take this, hide this, hide this, hide this. Smart object, smart object. Take this minus this, hide this. Okay, so we want to delete this from pretty much everything it hits. I can get rid of that. Let's do some stuff. Hold on, let's delete stuff we don't need first so I can actually see what the heck I'm looking at. Okay. So we've got our auto box, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this. I don't think we need these, so we're gonna get rid of them. So this is the main thing. We don't need this anymore. This is the one with the stroke, so we're gonna turn this on. We can just turn this off, actually. Okay, so here's what we have. So I deleted the bubbies with a stroke, so I gotta add it back. So we'll just do that real quick. Except I don't think I can do... Is it a 3-point stroke or a 4-point stroke? That's the problem. I kind of need to know that, but it's okay. Okay. So take minus, hide this. So we need to basically remove this from this back path. So we group this and invert it. Now we can see his head cut out of it. We need to then add that to Bubby's here. We put that here. We pretty much put it on everything he's on top of. So it's this rectangle and auto box. We can put these together, probably, and do this. So now we can see all of the border around him, which is what we want, which is good. Great. Now we need to do the same thing for the rectangle. So I'm going to duplicate the rectangle. I'm going to turn this off, turn this off. I'm going to give this a stroke of 0. I'm also going to make this white because we just want to make this white. We're going to put this on top. What I actually need to do, let me just set the fill to 0. Turn this into a smart object. Oh, so I don't even need this layer. That's fine. Good. So we need this to be cut out of the auto box. Morning, Scott. How's Australia treating you? I believe that's where you're, we'll say, calling in from. Okay, so we're going to grab that. We're going to delete it from here. Okay, so now we can see all the way through this, except for the flag. But the flag, we can kind of fudge a bit. We just need it to go like that. Okay. So we've got the auto box here. Oh, it's winter. Yeah, see, that blows my mind. Yeah, it's 89 degrees here in Ohio. Get rid of this, get rid of this. We don't need either of these. We just need this and the stroke. So we get rid of the stroke, but this is just a shape, so we can just get rid of it here. And this is on and off. We turn this into a smart object, go like that. Great. Hide this, so we need to delete it from here, and we need to delete it from here. And the good thing is, once we do this once, We don't really need to tweak a lot of it. We set this up so the background here can be done very easily. But for pin stickers, we don't need to stroke around it anymore. And then for my main logos up here, we don't... we just want to do that. Okay, so where's the flag? The flag is here. Let's copy this, get rid of the stroke, turn this into a smart object, turn this to a smart object, take this, minus that, okay? So then the background I like to make multiple layers like this so we can easily edit them later. So what I need to do is I need to grab Bubbies here, grab this, subtract the actual Bubbies. So this is just the outline. And we hide the back. And turn this back on. So now everything needs to be white. So we're going to give everything a color overlay of white. Just literally everything gets white. Usually I can put this into just like a layer. We're going to do this. We don't need a shadow. We can turn that off. Something's not right though. So it's not hitting him. So I need to turn this back on. I need to grab this, minus this, hide this, and I need to remove that from here. Yeah, so now you can see it. So you want to be able to see an outline of pretty much everything. And then you just turn off that hollow layer, and then we save and go back. So I know this is kind of a boring part, and usually people dip out here. So this is what our card looks like. So Lacey was asking before about how getting this printed. So this is literally how it would be done. You have your holographic paper, and then on top of that you print a layer of white that looks like this, and you need a special printer to print white. Then you can print your regular CMYK on top of that, which is going to be somewhat transparent. So it's going to be, say, set to multiply is what I have this set as. And then what we do is we put the autograph back on there, and this is what sort of the card would look like. Now I'm going to take the hue and saturation and dumb it down a little bit so we can kind of see what's going on. But this is actually wrong and not right, because we need to go into all of these strokes we added and we need to make them white. And usually I make them white. Sometimes I make them pink so I can see what they look like. I'm going to give this actually another stroke. And I'm going to make it black, just like I did on the logos. So we're just going to make it like 2. Just so you can see it a little bit better, because sometimes you can't. So I just need any sort of stroke I made, and we just make it white. So I see a stroke, and I make it white. And I can figure out which ones I didn't do. What's up, Loki Ninja? Can you hear? Did I freeze? Hold on, let me make sure everything's going well. Yeah, everything should be good. Oh, okay. Message redacted. You're good. Oh, gotcha. You couldn't write. Weird. So I just need to go into these and just change all of these strokes to be white. And then it'll look a lot cooler. It was giving them everything. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't letting you type. That's kind of bizarre. Because you should be able to. Unless they're like random words you can't say, but I don't know what those would be. But you would be able to, yeah, this should be fine. And let me give this stroke here. We go here so we can see everything. We technically don't need the bleed anymore. How old am I? If you're going to ask me how old I am, you have to guess first, because that's how things work. So you get to guess how old I am, and then I will tell you. So we save that. Then when we go back, it's getting rid of the pink stroke. And now the holographic is shining through. So it looks better. And I think one sort of thing to cheese this is if I set this to color at like 50% or something like that. No, I'm younger than that, so that's good. You went high. No, I'm 36. So this is what our card looks like. We can go here. Let me get rid of this. Hide this. And we're just going to make this a random... You're not just copy this. and do this. Yes, for sure, still a youngster. So this is what our card looks like right now. So let me save this as good template 1 mockup. We'll save that there. Change this down here. Good. I'm going to change that here. I don't need my name to be huge on here. Good golf auto concept. By Bradley Jack design. By Brawldy. Okay, so this is what the card looks like now, and it looks decent. Something about the auto field. Something about this is annoying me. What is it? What's bugging me is the border. Oh, this? I think it works with the overlap. I get what you're saying. But now that we have what it looks like, this is where we can go in and we can tweak some things to make it look cooler. So, yeah, it's a sharp corner. I get what you're saying. It would look different for each guy because there'd be a different photo down here. This just happens to be what Bubby's would look like. Like, I kind of want some of these to be a lot sharper. Like, I kind of want to make this filled in white at 100%. Let me do 100% here. Okay, that's how that works. So here's what we're gonna do. So we fill all these in, but we take this and we mask it out from that. We take this and we mask it out from that. We take this and mask it out from that. I did the wrong one. Happy to hear that about my workflow. I honestly find it, like, having accountability of streaming like this does a lot to motivate me to get cool stuff done, essentially. See, I think I like this better as a thing. And the cool thing is we can automatically go here and see what it looks like to see if it works or not. Which it doesn't yet, but there's something here. That's why I thought I wouldn't hate if this background is just white with all this other stuff cut out of it. But I'd have to play around with it. That's why adding this small border. I think I was going to add like a border like this. Won't look bad because it'll look like this. You did a stream yesterday, years ago on Twitch, and wouldn't guess that people stop by just to enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I'm streaming on Twitch right now. There's one person watching. It might be me. I have no idea. But I just have more people on YouTube that knows that I exist. So that's where most of the people come hang out, which is fine. I think I just want this sort of border around it to make it look like a card. Like, does this look better as a card because it has that border or not is the question. But that's what this whole thing's about. I'm actually going to get rid of it here because I want it to be the full holographic. So I think I want to do that. So then the background should go away. There's too many things to save. So like this. Yeah, the border doesn't feel like it fits the whole look. It's really if I save it here and go here, what does it look like? The border's grown on you. See if it's like that. I think here's what it is. If I do that, I think what I need to do, and it's gonna break everything, is I need to take every single thing and I need to make it 90% as big. But it doesn't let me do that because I have... Hold on. Yeah. Because as soon as you give it that border... Yeah, this background is one of my templates. It's one of my parallels. It's from, I think, the Rainbow Pack or something like that. Let me delete all the stuff we don't need. That way we don't get... And I'm gonna change it to something else in a sec. And I don't want to delete all these because I probably want them later, but I already did, and it's fine. So I want to take all of this and make it 95 as big. And it's not doing it because of this stupid rectangle. I don't know why it does that. It thinks I have a shape and I select every single layer and it's like, oh, you only want to edit this tiny little layer? And I'm like, no, I want the whole thing to be smaller. And it just did it again because of these. It's so... I don't know why it does that. It's so stupid. Let me see if it does it again. No, it made everything smaller there. So we make everything a little bit smaller. The issue is I need to line it up with where this is, which I did not do. Let's see if I can line these up again. Oh, that's not bad. That's close. There's something going on here. It's because of the back. Yeah, this should go down more. So something broke here. That should go down a lot more. Why doesn't it? Is it right everywhere else though? Because it's pretty much right everywhere except for down here, which is weird. I mean, I can just go like this and just kind of paint it in. It'll be fine just to mock this up. It's just something I can fix later. So I'm just going to paint this in. I'll fix it later, except I can't do that. And then what we'll do is we'll change the holographic. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. Let me just find my... Oh! Knocking shit over. I've got a holographic book. I just don't know where I put it. I was looking for it last time because we can make this a very specific and a very custom thing. Well, hey, I appreciate anything, any sort of stuff from my website. So this isn't bad. Pin Seekers needs to move around, but this is a good start. So I think we're kind of done with this idea. Let's change the parallel. So we'll just replace these contents. Go to my design server. Let me quickly go. Is there any sort of parallel you guys think you like? Any sort of holographic? Yeah, Pin Seekers is probably going to move. That's probably where I'm going to put it. I just don't want to do it right now because it's annoying me. That might be something I fix later. Let me just hit some buttons. I have music playing somewhere else. That's not what you hear, so. What do we got? Okay. Think. Card stuff. Okay, here are all my parallels, essentially. So we got, like, Big Bang stuff. Cracked Ice. Yeah, okay. So we just sort of, we kaboom it. Or disco. I do like disco. Disco usually looks good. We'll change it to this. Just need to make these a little bit larger. And I'm going to hide these so we can see what's going on. So realistically, it's a little bit more faded and it's probably a little brighter. The bottom is. So we're going to bring this up. This would be kind of more like that. Then we turn all this stuff back on and it would look like this. But it would probably print a little bit darker, but you can still see it. I manually took specific photos. This is pretty much how I did this. I got the paper and then very meticulously photographed it. This looks really bad down here because you can see where this doesn't line up at all now. So I gotta fix that. We'll fix that sometime. We'll fix that somehow, somewhere, some other time. So I think what we might want to do is on this, with these, right? Okay, I think I'm gonna give these a stroke of black on the outside. But why are you not doing that? Oh, it's just not fit. Oh, because it's set to overlay. I just want these set to normal. I want it to just look like this now. And then we give this bleed a little bit of we add a stroke of black to this. Kind of like that. Usually adding a stroke like that does a decent amount. It's just not perfect. Let me get rid of this hue and saturation layer. And was this set to screen? Let me set this to overlay. Honestly, I think there's too much of the holographic coming through for it to not be colored. So I think that's where we play around with. And I can fuss around with that off stream. I don't like how that looks. I think the background I need to figure out. Like if I hide these, it's a little down now. I need to move everything up. And I'm going to do that now. Ah, see, it's because of that. I need to do that so that everything moves at the same time. So I like this as a setup. And even if it's this and it gets rid of the background, I think we can make it work. Yeah, yeah. See, Kevin, that's the thing too, is like, I want to try and make stuff that survives, you know, more than 24 hours on the internet, which sports design stuff usually doesn't. Let me hide this. Let me do this. Let me set this to normal. So this is what the card looks like. And I think this looks decent. I need to tweak pin seekers, but everything else is a solid start. So I'm going to save this as a solid start. How long has it been? It's been 2 hours. All right, let's make another Bubby card. So we've got an autograph card. Let's look at this. So what other stuff can we do? See, like this is cool up here where they're on a golf course. If I knew what their favorite golf courses were, like that'd be a cool insert. I like, though, I kind of want to see what we can do with using like this other template, like doing something really crazy, you know? I just don't know how that would work. Let me just skip. Let me quit out of music so we can do this. Okay, so we have this, which is good. And we're going to just open up a new blank template. And this is what I used last week for Alona. And I did email her team the brief, so hopefully they see it and reply and say, these are cool, let's get these done. How do we work together? And these are the artboards from last week. We'll just get rid of these. Okay, so let's make a, what can we do for an insert? Maybe this is where we do a patch. Maybe we be a little goofy like you guys said and just mock up a patch card. I don't think it's realistic, but it's fun to do. Let me find a different photo of him. I mean, it would work well with this photo because he's wearing that. Let's do it with this. Let's do this. So we'll use this as the photo basis. We'll do select subject again. And we'll make a patch card out of this. Who doesn't love a good patch card? I got a bunch of patch cards we can look at too. Let me grab those. Just depends on if you want Obi Toppin or Devin Hester ones. Yeah, we'll do something like this. We'll use this as our inspiration. Do this like a National Treasures Colossal. We'll do horizontal cards. Horizontal cards are fun. A little bit different. This should be all selected. Selected mask. This, that. This is the one we already cut out, but I didn't save to my desktop. I usually save these to my desktop, but didn't here. So what I'm going to do off stream once we're done here, and I'm going to try and figure out a time where we can stream again to like make a couple more cards. It might be next week. It might be this week. But what I'll do is I'll flesh out cards for each of the guys based on this subject matter. So we're going to paste this here. We're going to go like that. We're going to delete this. Is this going to work? Can I do this? Image rotation. Just, does that work with that? Good. Great. All right. So here's our main card now. So now it's horizontal. So we go like this. We need to go back here. Let's grab a couple things we can steal from this. It's mainly the good logo, which is right here. Good logo. Okay. And I think we should steal. Where are we going? We can steal the shape that we use in the background. Here we go. This, sure. All right, this is the shape. And we're using the shape because it's in their logo. So there is intent behind it. And honestly, there are cards that look exactly like this with this exact shape on it. Where did I put those? Shoot. Here's another good example of a patch card. Big old chunky patch on there. There's one specific card I want to show you guys. I just need to find it. I got a new light box, so I was taking a bunch of photos of my cards, and I had the urge to reshoot all the cards I have. I took some photos, but not all. And I don't remember where I put them. I'll just pull it up on my phone. We'll go with that. Be easier. So the cool thing is, on this, let me find it. Oh, come on. I know I took a photo of it. Yeah, here we go. So like Nike logos are in a big thing like this. So I think this is a perfect shape for what we want to do. It's just how does it interact? How does it fit in here? How do we make it so it's perfectly straight at the bottom? Could probably use like an alignment tool, like fixing the perspective sort of thing, but not really. But this is pretty good. I want to flip it the other way. So this would be sort of a pretty cut and dry patch, I feel. Good logo. Him there. So I need to find this shirt. This is the, I think the Tita Green shirt is what it was. Clear out some of these. Clear out some of these notifications. I don't care about. I just need to get rid of all these notifications real quick. Okay. There's too many of them. Okay, so I just need to find the shirt he's wearing. So we want to go to Polos. And go to this. Tita Green Polo. Perfect. So this is the photo I need. Just need to save this to downloads. And we'll drop it in here. Take that, drop it here. Stupid fruit fly. Need to kill. Don't know why it's here. Drop it in here, and then we make this larger. We don't need this gradient overlay anymore. We just need to make this as big as possible. And maybe it's 300%. It's probably going to be pixelated. Yeah, see, that's the problem. In order to make it look good, it's going to be super pixelated. So I wonder if we can find a larger photo. I mean, this is larger. This is better. Let's try this. Image in new tab. This is 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels. That's because that's what it was actually cropped to, which is smart. But this is a better image. Because it's zoomed in. It's mainly because it's zoomed in. Can we make it 100%? We'll just do this. And then go like that. There. So this is the patch. So the patch itself would have, I would say, an inner shadow is usually what I do. I think that's what I've done before. Yeah, I need to go buy the shirt and then take photos of it. We'll do this. We need to make this darker. With black, we don't want linear dodge, we want multiply because we want it like that. We want it to come from like 135, like this. Let's go 50, 50, 50, or 100. 50 is probably good. I want to do an inner glow too. And the inner glow is going to give me more of a shadow from all around, kind of like that. So it looks better. So then we can play around with this the whole time. You know, we make it a little bit smaller. We can get rid of the border. I think that'll help. Get rid of the border. So now we have it like this. Maybe we don't have really much of a holographic. It's just on a certain part of it. We can't have all the cards be blue. And what we'll do on this too is I'll flesh out different color cards once I figure out the background and the Pin Seekers text. We'll change the color of the flag. We'll change the color of the background and have like 4 or 5 for each guy. So just gonna save these out because just to save on RAM space for the computer. Okay, so if we have him a little bit larger like that, we actually want him to come off the side. Do we have him, if he's, that's the issue, is if he's facing the patch, do we want it so the patch is somewhere else? Or do we want this patch to be like this so it's bigger? I think what we can do is we can sort of fudge this shape and just use it as the inspiration. Like this, and that's where we come back with these. Except I got rid of some of my other guides. Where are my other guides gone? That's weird. But maybe we just take this path and we kind of we smush it on purpose. Kind of like this. We've got the good patch like that. I think it might look better if this was flipped upside down. Like this. But then that doesn't look good with how he is there. A lot of things. We can also just make it a circle too. Like golf involves a golf ball. So we can also just go whoink. Big old chunky patch. And just do this instead. And put it in the center like this. Kind of like that. And then we make this a little bit smaller. Move him over. He's jutting off of the side of the image, so he's purposely Doing that creates an edge, which is good. The Good logo can go in one of the corners. So can my logos. So we'll grab these guys back. These need to rotate around like this. So we'll put my logo up here like that. And we'll take the debut tag. And we'll just move that right over here. So that's good. So this is a good little start. The Good logo then can go down here in the bottom left-hand corner. And we can give this a color overlay. Just make it black for now and make it smaller. Okay. So that's the thing with patch cards, is they can be a lot easier to sort of implement. I'm going to save this as good patch. So I know I've made one patch card before. It's actually, I think, my most popular. Oh, this isn't. Yeah, so this is a card I designed that a while ago that is on YouTube that people can watch. But this is nice. It's got a little bit of a. It's got nice place for an autograph, sort of printed in or stickered on. It's got just text. He's in front of the text. You can still read it, and then it's got a patch that looks like that. So what we need to do for the circle here is we need to give this a stroke. And I think if I give it a stroke, it's not going to break things in terms of the clipping mask, unless I'm wrong, but it's literally doing nothing because the stroke is on the inside. No, I want it to be on the outside. There, 15. Okay, good. Let's do 20. So we'll have this be, and here's the thing with this, depending on how we want to do this, is figure out, do we want this to be fake printed on white and then it's foil stamped, or is it still printed the same way we print the other ones? Like this card is a National Treasures card, so this is foil stamped in silver or gold on top of white. Whereas, say, this Obsidian card just has a patch cut out, smaller patch to it, but it's printed how I've been showing you guys how to do prints. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the holographic route, because I think that just might look a little bit better. So we're going to take this good with this color overlay. We're going to give this a stroke of white that's on the outside. We're going to give it another stroke on the outside that is slightly larger. This only needs to be like 50. And then this can be like 60. And we're going to make it this pink color again. And we're making it the pink color so I can see what's going on and how I want things to be set up. So we're going to make this stroke this pink color. So all of the pink theoretically and I need to make this, I actually need to get rid of the stroke, and I need to just put this stroke on here so the inner glow isn't affected. 20? Yeah, 20 is fine. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give the good logo some padding like this, and then just give it a little bit of a stroke around it, because I want it to be larger and I want it to overlap on top of the patch like this. So it's not just a circle, it gives it a little bit more of something. I'm just gonna make a quick layer behind it and just paint white so it fills in this spot. So we've got good, we've got this patch. So now, do we want to make a cutesy name for a patch? So do I have ChatGPT up somewhere? No, I think I quit out of it. All right, hold on, let me pull up ChatGPT again. And we'll see if it has any suggestions for a patch card. Yes, we're gonna make it we might as well. It's all fun. No one's good. They're not gonna do. These are less feasible. These are gonna be more just for fun to show what could be done. What could be a name for a patch shirt for a thing? What's up, Jesse? Good threads. I like good threads. Dialed drip's not bad. Any of these you think look good? I think good threads is good. So we can play with that. We've got good down there. So what I probably want to do here, like initially words. We're gonna give him a stroke. So he has a holographic around him too, but it doesn't need to be 23. It can be like 6. So he's got some holographic around him. I think generally for this, I want to then do something where it is framed in. We can use shadows and stuff to frame this in a cool way. So if I look at some other cards, and I'm looking at a lot of National Treasures stuff to get inspiration for this, it's how can we incorporate golf into this? So let's look at some golf cards. Golf patch card. This isn't what I want. Spelled stuff wrong, which doesn't help. But we'll go to eBay. Golf patch card. What if they have golf patch cards or good ones, or if they all just like stink? Yeah, they're all just gonna look like what things are. So like this just looks like an impeccable card, and it has a square cut out of it. So everything's designed, and then it just has a thing on it. Super Glow Paige Spiranak card. 175 or best offer. Yeah, you know, like this is playing around with curves, you know, tour threads. We're going to copy sort of, we're not going to copy, we are going to put text around this. And we're going to put it on we're going to type it on a path and say good threads. Except we're not going to have this god awful, I can't put it anywhere, stroke around it. We're just going to make it normal lettering. And we're going to make it actually the pink color. Then it's holographic. So what we're going to do probably is we're going to take this and rotate it like this. We're not rotated at all. Yeah, so we're going to go like this. I'm going to hide the good logo for now. And I just want this to say good threads, but I want it to be... I might have to do this. I want it to be really locked into that center area. I mean, that's kind of okay. Let me make it a little bit smaller so it's a little closer. So to say good threads, I just want to make sure it is... I'm eyeballing this. I'm looking at the distance here and the distance here to make it so they're the same, so they're aligned. Kayla, no problem. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, that's pretty much lined up, so that's good. I mean, I've been going for 2.5 hours. We're going to probably quickly make this until about 5 and then be done because I need to make dinner and do some work that pays me money. And I'm going to try and keep streaming as much as I can, but I am going to be teaching again in the fall, so that is going to suck up some time. Yeah, good threads. Okay. I like that. That's decent. What I kind of want to do is, I'm trying to think how I can make this golf course looking. Because what I can do is I can take this, I'm just going to drop it below everything because we don't need the strokes and everything, is give this a drop shadow. Distance of 0. But we really choke it up. Kind of like this. Because this is what you'll see on like a National Treasures product. Go like this, then we make this. What am I doing? I want to make this white. And I don't want this to have a stroke at all. And I make this just a little bit larger. Yep, and I get rid of the drop shadow. So it's kind of like this. Then we can take our good threads and we can make it a little bit bigger and maybe make it a little bit smaller. But we figure out a way to sort of play around with these shapes. So we've got good threads. So like I'm looking at this National Archives ink card. So let me show you what the inspiration is from this. Oh, we had eBay open? Good. National Archives ink. This is the card I'm looking at right now. So you see how they use just subtle gradients to like fake the shape that kind of goes through. You can see there's lots of line work that goes through it. We can use the good pattern somewhere, but it just sort of frames things up a little bit, which is really nice. So we can do the same thing, but in our own unique manner. I want to make everything just a little bit smaller. And that's mainly to keep everything together so we can see what's going on. I think I distorted this somehow. So I think I need to go like that to make it curve around a little bit better, to make it more natural. But where can we fill stuff in now? Well, I can go in here and I can add a... let's just make a new layer. I can go to Edit, Fill. I can do that brick fill we did. I can hit OK, and we have this brick fill layer now. So we can set this to 25, and we can put it below everything, but then we can figure out a way to incorporate this. And maybe we want to keep the circle motif going. So maybe we have a circle over here that's underneath all of this. It's more of actually, I want to copy these and move them over like this, but make them larger. Kind of like that. Maybe we don't need, no, we want the shadow because that's all that it's for. It's just for the shadow. And then we have him come out of it. So it's clipped, not to that, clipped to this. Kind of like that. And then maybe this has a stroke to it. What am I doing? I want it to be the same, theoretically, but I actually kind of wanted to touch the top there. Thinking, processing. I need to get rid of this. This drop shadow needs to be below both of these. So now these sort of intertwine with each other, but then they still have a drop shadow. But this drop shadow for me needs to be a lot more here so it matches. So it sort of does this. Then we take our background holographic and we just put that, I don't know why it's going up there. I want it to go all the way down here, just above the good text, like that. And this is a weird color overlay that's like kind of not doing what I want. So I'm just gonna grab a rectangle. That's not a rectangle. That's a circle. We're gonna grab a rectangle like this. And we will give this a stroke of, I don't know, 6. And then give it a fill of nothing. So this has a stroke going around it. But we also need this to technically be above this drop shadow, because we don't want this drop shadow to be in this. We want this drop shadow to be below this. Yeah, so we want it to look like, this. So I'll hit save real quick. So we sort of have this circular shape, and we've got a clear white border, and then maybe the debut logo we have. How much stuff's in here? Oh, okay, not much. Good. Where's the debut logo? Oh, the debut logo's up here. Maybe this is down here in this bottom corner now, like that. And we figure out what to put down here. Maybe we have his text and stuff down here. This pattern is not going to stay how this looks. The pattern is definitely going to go away in certain aspects. I'm just trying to figure out how I want it to look. So if I duplicate these and we put them above this, I can group these together and I can give it a stroke of white. And what that's going to do is it's going to get rid of where all of that is. So now it's in just this tiny little spot, but it exists. But is that what I want to do? Maybe, maybe not. This just sort of looks like a National Treasures card and doesn't look that cool. I delete that. This is all fine over here because I think what I can do is I can make a new smart object be a copy with this. Go into this one and delete the background or delete the layer mask. And then make it seem like he's actually jutting out of it, which is a better sort of look. Let me delete this layer mask. Put these in the same group and do that. I think that's what I want to do. Delete this. Just make them a little bit larger like that. So now he has a line going around him that goes off the edge, which might look weird, but I'm not certain. This does look better than what I had before, but I need to turn this off because I need that white border. So I need to give this a stroke on the inside of what, 25? Yes, but this breaks all of that. So I need to make this larger. And then just move it in, and it should work. Should follow the same. No, it's not going to follow the same curve. It's bigger. Dummy. But this does look kind of cool. Hold on, let me hide this. Okay. This needs to be here, but it needs to be underneath it. And it needs to be underneath this. This is where it needs to be. I just need to find the right stroke, and it's not doing the stroke here. It's taking this circle and putting it above it and giving it a fill of 0. And then giving it a stroke on the inside. There we go. Ah, that's right on. I don't want it. Inside. 25. Okay. So this is why I don't like patch cards. Patch cards are a little harder to figure out because you get this big old patch on it. The person on the card doesn't matter as much. But it is what it is. Okay, so we've got him here. He's got an outline around him, which is fine. It's what we want. The debut logo we can't see at all. We'll just figure that out. Fudge it on there. You can't see my logo either. We'll fudge that. So the left side's kind of okay. The right side is where we need to play around now. The issue is I feel like I'm just copying what National Treasures does way too much. So how can we incorporate more golf? I think that is the question here. How can we incorporate more golf to this? And I think we can do that in terms of like scorecard stuff. Let me hide this real quick. So this is where we're at. I'm looking at this, looking at things. We can add some color to go around the edges. Yep, we can do that. We need the Good logo back on here. We've got that right here. So this can go here. I think that's fine now. Let's remove some things around. So we can say Good. Maybe the Good actually is also itself this pink color. So then that's all shiny and holographic. I think that'll work. I just need to dumb this down a little bit so it looks like that. Maybe we don't do that. Maybe we just make it sort of like this in the corner. So it's sort of like a tag of what the card is. Let me move this down so we can see. But it's got just like a little shine to it, which is nice. And then usually what I would want to do on this is figure out how we can put some color around this. We need to put his name on here. And that's tiny. We need to put his name on here. We need to put on here Good threads. So I'm trying to think of a way we can do that without making it super generic. Because I don't want these to be generic looking. I want them to look cool. Let's go to this. And this might be one where we start it and then finish it somewhere else. Because I'm getting a little burnt out staring at my computer for 2.5 hours. But that's how this works. Deep breaths. Okay, let's put the good. Let's put this here, but this is gonna be just on the outside. I like how that looks. We can also make it a lot darker. Or we make it a little bit lighter like that, which is cool. So then this, we kind of almost don't even need this. We have that there, that's fine. No, I don't think we need this anymore. I think what we do need to do though is this rectangle. What is white below it? Is that this? I can't even tell. Let me set this to transparent. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna duplicate this. This is a white rectangle. Because we can give this a little bit of a drop shadow then. Same drop shadow we're using. Ooh, way too big. Way too dank. Way too dank. Okay. Let's do 50. Increase it a little bit. Okay, maybe we make this background too, like a color. So maybe we go back. Maybe we grab the good color and we do something over here that's not a straight line. Usually it's just like, oh, we'll just put a straight line on here. There's so much room to put things here. So we would put here Thomas Broders, which is, there we go. I'm like, it's in text, can't even read. Thomas Broders. We'll do thin text. We get rid of this. Drop this back up. Tighten it up a little bit with the leading. Thomas Broders. I think it's a little too thick. It's a little bit better. I don't know if I want to have a little bit of spacing between the two, kind of like this, or not. Because if I do that, I might as well do... this. Ah, see, that's the problem. Oops. I might as well go like this. And put this right here and make it teeny tiny. It's not letting me pick that. I got like 10. And then like 550. Kind of like that. What I probably want to do is put a shape over here that makes sense to fit into this Thomas Broders part. Just sort of what they would do at Panini. Do we have that shape still? Because I kind of want that shape. This shape? Yeah, I want this, but not distorted to hell like we have it. Ooh, good job, Hop. So I think we go like... I mean, this is the angle, so that's fine. But basically we take this, we group it together, and we just sort of trim it down like this and have it come in. I mean, it's 100% what Panini would do because they've done it on many, many occasions, which kind of sucks. I don't want to copy National Treasures because it's like this is like a Regal sort of. Oh, everything froze. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. Sorry, everything froze. Because like this is exactly what Panini would do, and I don't want to just copy what Panini would do because I want to make these cool. And I could make just like some kooky looking crazy patch cards, but that's not what we've got going on here. I do need to take this here and put this right there. Yeah, that's better. Then I think I need to take these. I need to take all of this and move it over a little bit, just so we have a little bit of breathing room here. We take the name, and this isn't centered at all, I don't think. It's more centered now, so that's good. This isn't centered anymore. Let me know what you guys think of this so far, if we need to scrap it or not, or if you like how this looks as a thing. I think I might be calling it soon, just because I think YouTube's breaking, or this is breaking. So we'll just do that. All right, we'll call it now. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna revisit this at some point in time. We'll revisit this later this week or next week. We'll start back up here. I'll focus on the other card and flesh some stuff out with that. But thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a pretty solid stream. I really appreciate all the views you guys have. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, of course, per usual. Take a look at other content I have. I'm creating this trading card brand from scratch. Any sort of sharing to people you know that like sports cards and get them excited about these is going to be very helpful once I get the ball rolling on getting these produced once someone signs on. Also, if you didn't see, I posted a video that I'm getting suggestions on Sundays. If you give me a suggestion and I make a concept card for that person, and then they sign up and they want to get the card made, I'll give you a card for free. So I'm trying to incentivize you guys a little bit to participate, but it is what it is. So with that, you guys have a lovely rest of your afternoon. We will regroup again and take a look at this patch card next time, and we'll come up with a couple more ideas for cards. I'll do that off stream so we can do a lot of the designing on here. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next week.